So we are moving on to the final talk of this afternoon session. And well, we all know that healthcare, or staying healthy in general, is very often about knowledge. And the next project has seen and shows that this can just not start early enough. And it's a project trying to teach children facts about their body. I can already see the team with matching T-shirts. That's absolutely great. So we are now welcoming on the stage Michael Andorfer and Mariella Seel from the St. Pölten University of Applied Sciences, talking about KARLI, Kid-Friendly Augmented Reality Learning Interface. Thank you.
Well, hi, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you had an interesting afternoon so far, because we had. And we can promise it will get even more interesting now. But before we start our demonstration of KARLI, there is something I want to ask you. So behind me, you can see the definition of health literacy. So the concept of looking up health-related information, assessing it, and applying it to your current situation. And now I would like to ask you, hands up please, who of you feels health literate? So who of you feels like he or she is able to look up health-related information and discuss it with a doctor on eye level? Okay, well, that's what we assumed when we were thinking of a digital healthcare intervention we could do, and that's what led us to KARLI. You may read that statement now, but I can tell you we believe that health literacy is something that should not start when you're an adult suffering from a certain condition and feeling in need of visiting a doctor. We believe that health literacy is something that should start from the very beginning, so with even the youngest members in our society, and that would be our children. And therefore, we decided to develop an app following the setting approach of the World Health Organization. So the setting approach, you can see the details here, means that you need to find an appropriate setting and find an appropriate solution for how you can reach the people there and tell them about health and about healthy interventions they could do. So what we did is we looked for a partner school. We talked to a lot of teachers and teaching students and asked them about their needs and their wishes for an adequate anatomy classes in primary schools. And we came up with a 3D augmented reality app that we will now take a look at.
Thank you, Mariella, for heading over to me. I would like to change direction now and talk a bit about the technical part of KARLI. But before, I would like to show you a short video illustrating the current state of the prototype. So here you can see the already implemented parts of KARLI, and I would like to focus on two parts of them: the body exploration and the organ choice, and the worksheet and the human heart exploration. Those features are based on Google's AR Core, and Google's AR Core SDK is a really great tool for faster development of AR applications, but there are also some challenges which come up with using this feature. First, although Android smartphones have 90% of the market share, Google is very strict about the requirements those devices have to have. This leads to the problem that although there are millions of Android devices out there, only a few devices are capable of supporting the AR core. And second, the AR core causes a massive battery drain. And this can also be observed by getting the device very hot, and this is a problem which is not solved today. And third, the overall conditions of the lighting conditions or the surface texture or the images we use for example, for the hard exploration have to be nearly perfect in terms of the requirements of Google's AR core. And those are challenges which are not fixed yet. So the SDK is very great for developing AR applications, but there are also some drawbacks, and Google's AR core is not as sophisticated as we might expect it. And we hope that Google is making fast progress in the next time, so we can continue with a stable version of KARLI. And finally, before heading back to Mariella again, I would like to show you some features we have planned to implement in the next upcoming months. This is on the left side, the markers on the 3D object and the linked info texts. Then we would like, second, we would like to implement some gamification, like comparing the blood flowing through the body with the amount fitting into daily objects, like you can see it on the image in the middle, and for example also counting how many times the heart is beating per minute by pumping the augmented heart with the finger. So Mariella, your turn again.
Well, you now have heard it, and I think you get our intention. You might know the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or as we say in German, was Hänschen nicht lernt, lernt Hans nimmer mehr. And that was the driving force, because we think we should start early enough, and the best way of learning about the body is by having a look inside it. And you can see we are from very different disciplines, we have very different knowledge, very different backgrounds, but that's what makes us great, and that's what will KARLI make great. And before you go home now, I have a last question, and it's something you don't need to answer now, but something I want you to think of when going home. Go back to school, think of what you've learned, think of decisions you had to make, and then ask yourself, if you had known about your body better, would you have treated it differently? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the session now. Have a great evening. Use this time, stick around for a while, and stay healthy. Thank you very much.